So let's go into our offensive playbook here. So in playbook and installs, let's click on that and let's make sure that we have offense selected. So let's go ahead and go into the playbook. And what you'll see here are some locked folders. And these are your root folders that you can't change. So we have formations, shifts and motions, concepts, installs, and scout cards. Now, on a lot of teams, they like to have some type of organizational material or identity also included in their playbook, which we can have. So let's say offensive identity. You can create a new folder that's for, and we can arrange it to be at the top, for example. Let's go through, and you can create a play the same way that a lot of coaches like to do in huddle to talk about their team's identity. So who are we? And something you can do is you can click position. A unique thing we offer is in the top here, yeah, you can do red zone and you can do goal line and all this kind of stuff. But you can also do presentation, and that'll give you the option to have just a whatever color page you want. And you can actually, this is the only time where you'll want to get rid of your O-line. So let's go through and let's clear players. Let's clear all players. Beautiful. So now you can take a text here and you can title it however you want, but I'm going to title it, I'm going to say, who are we as a team? And this looks okay, but you can, this is your tools over here to edit it. So let's add a background box here, and I'm going to make this background box green. I'm going to make this font a lot larger and bold. And the text color will make white. So you can edit this however you would like, but you can make it kind of look like a PowerPoint is the goal. So I'll make this a little bit larger even, be like a true PowerPoint. Yeah, so who are we as a team? And then you can go through and you can do a lot of the same things that you would typically do. You can list identity one, so on and so forth, and you can list all of these underneath it here. And yeah, you can change a bunch of stuff with that as well. And then when you're done, you can click Save Play, and then coaches and players will see it look like this, and you can just briefly pull it up and talk about it like a slide. That's what you can do as well. If you have rules or something like that, you can also include it in there. So let's go more into the nuts and bolts of it here. So formations obviously is where your formation lived, your formations live. And you can, I separate it by formation tags to formations. You don't have to do that. You can just jump right into formations. But what this folder is really important for is anything in this folder will be able to be pulled into our editor. So, and every single play, you can click this insert formation / play button right here. And so then once you have any play in that folder, you can pull it in. So I would say I want to put in this bunch. Boom, there it is, and it's in. So once it's in there, you can use it indefinitely. And that's whether it's formation or formation tags. Shifts and motions are exactly what they sound like. You can have a shift or have a motion. If it's a squiggly line like this, you can still animate it and show the way the player will move, which is pretty cool, and reset it. But you can go through and we've got a text box in here over it. Let's see here. Concepts, scout cards, and installs. So let's go ahead and jump into some concepts so I can show you how this thing works in general. So this is your default view when you go to create a play. So you've got undo, redo, trash to remove something. If you ever need to insert your O-line again, you can do that here. There are some keyboard shortcuts here that are similar to other Playbook Creator software programs. So as far as the actual tools, we have select, draw, insert an offensive player, defensive player, text, reads for QB reads, shape, and zone. We've already pre-done some defensive zones here, so you can do deep third or deep fourth already pre-drawn for you. But you can also just insert a normal shape if you'd like. And then you got insert formation play, insert defense / scout card. You can animate the whole play. You can hide offensive players, hide defensive players. You can move the line of scrimmage should you choose. You can flip the play, clear players, save as image, and attach a video link. And then below this, you have all your responsibilities down here as well. So let's go ahead and put some players in. Oh, sorry, at the top you have your play name. So let's do stick. You can can change your position if you'd like. You could be backed up, or we're just going to go back to the midfield probably. You also have the ability to do a O-line focus that'll zoom in only on the O-line. And you can add tags. So I'm going to add stick, and let's do this from trips. So I've already got trips drawn in my folder, but for this purpose, I'm just going to put some players on here. So you can select your player color here before you put them on. So I'm going to have my QBB. Once you place it, you can click whatever label you want for it. So I'm going to say Q. I'm going to have my next player be B. Let's go, I don't know, Y, H, Z, and then let's have this individual. Yeah, even if you try to place them beyond the line of scrimmage, it won't allow you. So once you're done with that, you can click the select tool and you can move these players however you would like to refine their alignment. And so then what you can do is then you can get into the drawing portion. So by drawing, you have a bunch of different line styles here. So you've got solid arrow, blocking, dashed arrow, a lot of the standard things that you see. So what you can do is you can click on a player, and just like everything else, it'll give you a line that shows your indicator where you're going to put it. So you just tap and then go there. That's fine. And then you can do the same thing. Now, once you've clicked once, you can draw it with your mouse and hold the draw. You can also, once you've clicked once as well, you can hold the shift button and that'll turn it into a dash line. So if you want this to be more like a pivot, say instead of a traditional stick, you can. But at any point as well, you see this little indicator on the lines. You can click on that, and it'll let you do a branch, and that branch will be a dash line as well. Okay? So you can do all of that. So what you can do with routes that are really interesting is once you draw a route, you should see this in the bottom right that says route detected. So I'm going to save this route, and this display name is going to be MOR fade / comeback. This display name is what's going to be under the player. And it gives them a little, and you can put a description if you would like. But I'm going to call this outside fade / comeback. Or you can go play side 1, fade side. You can do a variety of things here with what you want to call it. So I'm going to save it like that. And now the beauty of this is if I want this player to have that same route, I don't have to redraw it. I can just see here, I can just click it, and there it is. And it works great. So as far as defensive players, you can click your defensive players. I'm going to make them black, and then you can draw it up however you would like to. So you could do, not that, click, and then click, nose, click in. And you can go through and we'll just put something for all these really briefly. Great. So now you've got this. If you want to draw shading on here, you can click on a player and you can have shading. But what you can also do is once you have a shading, click back on the center and it'll say shading has been detected. And you can actually save shading patterns on here. So I've already got an even with the 3 check to the right. So I can pop that in. It just saves me a few seconds, a few clicks. And here's where you get into the same things with defense. So that's how once you have a defense set like this, you can click. Let me actually make this actually flip this and make it under. So once you have this done, you can click insert defense / scout, and you're prompted with the ability to save current defense as a template. And so I'm going to go 4-2 under, and you can put a little description if you'd like, but strong right on the offensive side. So I'll save this template, and then it's saved. And so now I've got it right here. So if I want to use that template later, I can. So right now, let me show you what that'll look like. So I can clear players. I'm going to clear all those defensive players I just put on there. I click insert defense scout, 4-2 under, and then it centers it on the center. So what happens there So if I were to move this formation a bit to the right, or even flip it, it would still do it on the center. So I can click Insert Defense. I've moved it a little bit, so now it's going to still center it on the center. And everything can be moved by doing this. And also, if you move the line of scrimmage, you want a little more space, you can do that, and everything will move. As far as text and stuff, you can put all kinds of text on the screen. Should you like, you can do it the same way I showed before. You could say QB reads and then list it if you'd like. I do like a background box, to be honest, for a lot of things. Just it makes it look cleaner and a little bit easier. And for something like this, I may want to go left, and it just lets you edit it really nicely. In addition to QB Reads, so you can also use this tool, QB Reads. And so I like this to be red font, and it's a bigger font, but this is what it'll look like when you put it on. So let's say the QB Read is 1 to 2 to 3. Okay. You can include that there. You can have an alert and label it. And then, yeah, so it works nicely. If you want to highlight a specific player, you can do that by doing shapes and clicking on that player, and it'll stay there. If that's a read key or something like that, you can also do a square, triangle, and it can be filled or not as well. So you can do all of that. When you're doing scout cards as well, for the zone, we already have, like I said, deep half, deep third, and underneath the deep fourth. You can change the color of these as well to whatever you'd like. It just allows you to pop it in there instead of having to measure it out. You can move this and change it if you need to. So to remove a player, you can't just click backspace. You need to actually click this delete button. This video link is really cool. So in addition to all the responsibilities down here, so when a player gets inserted and a label gets inserted, so like X or Y, it automatically creates a responsibility for them. So for example, this, and when you do a saved route as well, it does the same thing. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. You can also do saved blocking schemes. So you can do a blocking scheme. So let's go into O-line focus really briefly. And then we can do a blocking scheme where you can click on an individual and then you can draw them the same way. I don't want to draw them like that. I want to draw them black. And you can draw them the same way that you probably always have. And it's always difficult. We do offer, once you click once, you can drag it to them, and that helps a lot. And then also, if you double click, it's always right click to stop the route, but you can click on this individual, and if you double click on a player, it'll automatically push to them. And then say you double click on this player, you can also hold shift, and that'll make it a dash line, and you can double click on another player, and that'll help with double teams, for example, to be really, really easy. So you can do all of that, or what you can do, let me get rid of these lines that I just drew. Or you can click on this and say you've already drawn your big on big protection, or yeah, so let's do this. Oh, this is for an, this is for an over front, but let's do quick half slide to the left. That, yeah. So let's say you want to do this. And you can edit things because it won't be perfect unless you're perfect with your naming system, but it just helps simplify things. But you can do that for blocking schemes as well if you're really particular with your naming system. And that'll also, once you assign that, it also gives the O-line a responsibility here. So in this responsibilities tab, you have the ability as well to enter the responsibility if it's not a saved route. So let's say Y is stick. Now you can add your notes for stick here. So push to 5, ... And then you can click save as default. And what that does is now anytime that a player gets stick responsibility, it'll automatically load that note. And it saves you a lot of time typing the same stuff over and over again. If you want to O-line view, you can click here. And then you can go through and you can specifically, actually, you could probably do it on the other one as well, but you can specifically say place at guard, place at tackle, so on and so forth. Yeah, and that's about it. So when you're done with this, you can click Save Play, and then you'll find it in your playbook ready to go. As far as other stuff in your playbook, scout cards are a little bit different. There'll be a different video for that, and installs are a little bit different, and there'll be a different video for that as well. That'll be right after this one. So as far as playbook, you also have the ability, to delete your entire playbook, view your template library, so you can see all of your templates that you have, whether it's certain routes that you have, or blocking schemes, or shading, defensive templates, so on and so forth, all in here. You can also click print, and you can print the entire playbook really nicely. You can click to break it up by subfolders. So if you got formations and then formation tags, which I recommend to do, you can break it up, and it'll break it up really nicely. You can also click select all, and this will just print your entire playbook here. So you want 4 pages on one. Really simple and easy. So there's that. I'm trying to think of anything else. It's about it for the time being. Like I said, we really recommend, these are not locked folders, but we really recommend organizing your structure in a folder system like this. If you don't like the grid view, you can also go to this view here to toggle back and forth between the two. And it's a little bit easier sometimes to arrange things like that. You also have the ability in these, when you have these plays, you also have the ability to click this to duplicate it, or select it, or you can move it to another folder. You can select multiple. If you want to move a bunch to another folder, you can pull it up and find the folder that you want to move it to. You can also delete them in bulk if you'd like. So, there you go. The next little bit will be on installs and scout cards specifically, and those will be shorter videos. But as far as the playbook offensively, that's about it.